Hi! On the Woodpecker today? I'm fixing chairs. If you're a woodworker, there are two things you won't be able to escape in your lifetime: paying your taxes and fixing chairs. It could be one of your own chairs, one of your daughters, one belonging to a friend, or maybe a chair that your sister wanted to use as firewood. Three of those chairs have the same problem: not enough glue or glue failure. I'll begin those repairs with our daughter's chair. Just by looking at it, it's obvious they were stingy with the glue. Nobody will ever say that about me. As you can see, there's a small quantity of glue on the tenons and a little inside the mortises. The first thing I have to do is to remove the nails that were across the tenons. I don't know how someone thought those small nails would keep the chair together. After removing the nails, I remove the seat. Since I want my glue to hold for a long time, I remove all the glue that I can on both tenons and inside the mortises. To fix all those chairs, I'm going to use epoxy glue. No, it's not the cheapest glue, but I don't want to touch those chairs again. So after thickening the mix with silica powder, it looks like my last cake frosting. I use a small brush and spread glue inside the mortises, on the tenons, and everywhere where the wood is broken. Then it's time to put it all back together and put 4 clamps. Here you can see that the joints are super tight. Everything is well glued, and most importantly, all the excess glue is removed. Now I can fix the chair that Alain brought me more than 6 months ago. And obviously, as always, it's a bad glue joint that gave up. The first thing to do is to remove all the old glue. Now, using the rest of the epoxy mix, yes, this epoxy has a working time of over half an hour. I spread glue everywhere where I've removed the old one. I also use a thin scrap piece of wood to push the glue to the bottom. Then I can put both pieces together. Right after that, I use acetone to clean the excess glue that oozed all over the place. I don't forget to remove the glue inside the chair's pivot track, because it would be ridiculous to have a folding chair that can't be folded because of too much glue. When all the glue is removed from the grooves, I leave both chairs like that for the rest of the day and all night. The next morning, I can remove the clamps from my daughter's chair and screw back the seat. There you go. I have 2 fixed chairs, but I promised you 4 chairs. So the next chair I'm going to fix is the one that my sister wanted to use as firewood. Okay, this is the chair that is the most damaged. On top of having a broken seat, there is also one of the thin rungs at the back that is broken in 2. But at least, unlike this one, I have all the pieces. I'm pretty lucky because there is not a lot of things that hold together on this chair. So it's pretty easy to remove most of the rungs. Next, the first thing I do is glue those 2 pieces together. Now I just need to wait for the glue to dry. But it's not a big problem, because I still have plenty to do on this chair. First thing I try to do is to take apart those 2 pieces. But I'm unable because there is one nail just here. No, I can't do it even if I want to. Even if I use a mallet. So I go to the drill press and drill a hole on the nail. Okay, this has no effect. I can't take apart those two pieces. I go back to the drill press and drill another hole on the other side of the nail. And now with small tweezer, I can remove the nail. I can also take apart those two parts. Now I need to fix the seat. Here, somebody already tried to repair it with two nails. Okay, this is even worse than not putting enough glue. After removing the broken piece, I need to heat the chair a bit so I can soften the glue of this broken rung. I'm really unlucky that the only broken rung is one of the few that is well glued. But now I can remove it. And with it out of the way, I can glue the seat back together. One thing I have to say is that with a chair with finish on it, wiping the excess glue is pretty easy. While the glue is drying, I can go to the lathe and turn another rung. Now I just need to check if it's the right length. It's perfect, but obviously it's not the right color. So I use a bit of dye to make it close to the color of the chair. Since I don't have a lot of dye colors, I'm forced to mix those two together. Okay, it's not 100% the same color. My father was way better at this than I am. I'm just hoping that with the varnish on, it will be less noticeable than this. But it was not only just the top of the chair that was not well glued. The legs are also falling apart. So with a couple of mallet hits, I remove the legs. And like always, the mortises of the legs need to be cleaned and also the top of the legs. And now it's time to glue back the legs to the seat. And just like I've said before, this will be glued with epoxy glue. After putting a good quantity of glue inside the mortises and on the top of the legs, I can put it back together. When I'm done, I turn the chair around, put it on my workbench, and check if all the legs are leveled together. Since they are, I just need to leave that alone, again, for the rest of the day and all night. The next morning, I can clean the old glue everywhere. Now it's time to glue everything that's not glued. Since the right side is in one block, I glue this right away. I put glue inside the mortises and on the tip of the rungs and put that in place. I remove the excess glue right away. Then it's time for the 4 little rungs at the back. I also glue the corner rung. And with all this in place, I can glue the top of the chair. I put 2 clamps on this right away to make sure that the top won't move. Then I glue everything on the left side. Now I need to make the final touches on this chair, like filling the holes I drilled with wood putty. I also wipe some stain where the wood was damaged. Right after putting it on, I wipe the excess with a clean rag. I do this everywhere where I can see the lighter color of the chair. Next, I can fix our own chair. In fact, it's the easiest repair of all the chairs. As you can see, this chair had the other side broken already. Fixing this is pretty easy. I drill a hole at the same angle as the chair's back. To make sure that I drill straight, I hold the back firmly with my other hand. Then I try to add a little bit of glue where it's broken. The last thing to do is screw a screw in the hole I just did. And here they are, 4 chairs fixed. But I'm not totally done, because the chair that my sister wanted to burn, well, I want to put another coat of varnish on it. So the next day, I clean it with alcohol. I'm going to spray 1 coat of shellac. The first thing to do is to make a shellac mix. After the shellac flakes are even smaller, I put them inside a glass jar and add alcohol. After mixing it well, I leave this alone for a whole day. The next morning, I empty this mix into another jar. And it's this jar that I pour inside my spray gun. I spray a coat of shellac everywhere on the chair. This will seal the finish that was already on it. A couple of hours later, I can spray the varnish. And with a coat of shellac, I'm pretty sure that this varnish will stick to the chair. I spray 2 coats of varnish. And here they are, the 4 chairs that I've repaired. I hope you've learned at least one thing about fixing broken chairs. But the most important thing is don't be stingy with the glue. And see you soon for another episode of the Woodpecker.